Today, do you have an idea how many Apple iPhones are built?
No.
I think we are building in India more than 40 million iPhones. The total iPhones sold are around 220 million. So, in just a matter of 3 or 4 years, India has moved to close to 1/6 of the world's iPhone output.
Wow. One question on the whole India or Viksit Bharat, the 2047 story, again from your experiences, what you've been able to build, drive at scale in India, it's actually a combination of three things, Santhanam. One is manufacturing, services, and the role of AI. It's, many times it's said that the services growth that we have seen as a country, it isn't the most sustainable one because it's not very sticky. We haven't been growing at a pace that you talk about, which is manufacturing as a share of the GDP over a multi-decade period, right? And now you've got a new animal in the mix, which is productizing a lot of the stuff that otherwise gets used in services, which is role of AI. As a country, the good, bad, and ugly of services and manufacturing, and how do you see the roadmap? I know it's like...
So, one is, I think, I fundamentally believe I want to include manufacturing and construction. Because often...
It is only one...
I think we don't realize that the construction industry is one of the biggest manufacturing value chain.
Interesting.
Okay, and China grew from 2007 to 2022 largely on account that extraordinary construction boom of residential, commercial infrastructure. So we grossly underestimate the effect of construction, especially infrastructure, residential, commercial,
roadways,
and everything. I think, so when I combine construction and building, India is at about 25%. Both 25, 26%. And they are...
Both put together.
Both put together. I think logically we should move to a 35%. I think that's about a good level because India needs a hell of a lot of infrastructure. Only now we started to build metros, we started to build, and you saw the transformation of Mumbai.
Yeah.
Now,
it's such a
one
beautiful
sea
story.
link,
Yeah.
and one Atal Setu.
Yeah.
Luckily, both were built by the company in which I'm in the board. I had nothing to do with it. Their building, but I just happened to be on the board of the company which built Atal Setu and which built the coastal link road, which linked up.
What a catalyst those two
and I think so. You have to understand, India is just under what China unleashed in 2000, 2007 to 2022. India is in that phase today. So when I combine construction and infrastructure and manufacturing put together, can we move from the 25, 26% to 35%? I think that's really possible. And that's what we are doing. And there, I think the government is very clear that we need to build in long-term capability and build the entire supply chain. I'll give an example. If I tell you, for every one of the... Today, do you have an idea how many Apple iPhones are built?
No.
I think we are building in India more than 40 million iPhones. The total iPhones sold are around 220 million. So in just a matter of 3 or 4 years, India has moved to close to 1/6 of the world's iPhone output.
Wow.
And I'm not even talking about what Samsung is doing by itself. Okay?
That's the ecosystem that we've already
which is building up. Right now it is assembly, then we will be making components, then we'll be going back and making the integrated chips, automation, and many others. I think this will take 10, 15 years. But in just 3 years,
Yeah.
India is
1/6.
making 40 million iPhones. And from making the older models, today we're making iPhone 16, 17 Pro Max made in India. The casing is made in India. The chipsets are made in India. It's a very complex process. And the assembly, which employs 400,000 people of very ordinary women, 80% of the women working in these lines are this. That's a transformation that is possible. So we need to pick these industries where this kind of transformation is possible, whether it's in solar, whether it's in the photovoltaic solar, whether it's in energy transition, whether it is in battery energy, whether it's in EV. I think India has got a good idea of what to do.
Yeah.
And the government is providing the right kind of incentives. What is needed, and I'll tell you, is a lack of fear amongst our entrepreneurs. Our existing incumbents and entrepreneurs are not jumping into it as much as possible. We have to some extent, suspend our deep need for short-term to medium-term returns. And we have to accept the fact that in some of these industries, the return on capital employed will be lower, and as we build scale. My concern is private enterprises are not doing it en masse at large scale.
Yeah.
Companies like, I'll tell you, companies like L&T have invested for 20 plus years on defense, and only now it's paying dividend. Now, I want our entrepreneurs not to be happy, the third generation, fourth generation entrepreneurs, not to be happy with running a family firm, a finance firm, investing here and there, taking a aircraft and flying into Paris for a dinner. I think that's not the way the country can
what
become
is called as a
Viksit Bharat.
lifestyle business.
Yeah, so I think that's good for those airlines, that's good for those things, and so long as we don't make them, it doesn't help the India. For Viksit Bharat, I think the government has got the right ideas. It has the incentives it can capable of giving, but the energy has to come from entrepreneurs. And I think we need tens of, hundreds of entrepreneurs who are willing to go out.
Yeah.
A global mindset, a scale and speed, and an ability to withstand short to medium term financial challenges.
On the other side of the equation, just a question, Santhanam, that do you think there is enough patient capital available in the country, or should that also get better?
Yeah, I think so. I think this is one thing which China has had in plenty, because the return on capital employed in many of the industries in China in the earlier periods were abysmally low.
Yeah, dismal.
Today they are very high.
Yeah.
Today they are very high.
Yeah.
So they are making more money than the Western companies in many of the automotive industries and other things. So I think we'll have to go through that, and we need a little bit, but I feel it's entrepreneurs. For instance, 10 years ago, we invested a lot in power plants 15 years ago. Many of them turned out to be poor NPAs. Banks went through a cycle of problems. They cleaned up the NPAs, but those assets are the ones who are helping you. Today, if you and I are sitting in great degree of comfort, it's 15 years ago, a large number of entrepreneurs taking big risks, disproportionate to their capacity. They built those assets, physical assets of this. They probably didn't benefit. Probably banks lost the money. But today, every one of those assets which were created are being put to use. So I think it is important that we have to have that ability to take risks. And I will say to any entrepreneur, what are you afraid of? Your great-grandfather, your grandfather, your father has made more than enough for you to survive. You don't have to be a custodian who is just running it. You have to be someone who's scaling it up. I think that scaling up mindset amongst entrepreneurs, there are a few who have it, but we need large number of them. along with saying India is 4% of the world.
Yeah.
I'm not going to play only in India. I'm going to play in the world.
Yeah.
Because if you're 4% of the world, this 4% may become 8% over the next 20 years. That's really what is Viksit Bharat. But I'm not going to be just fighting for the 4% of the world. I'm going to be fighting for a bigger pie of the world,
Yeah.
which is what the IT industry showed us in 80s,
Is
90s, and
possible.
2000s.
Yeah.
So you got to find that. If you're going to be a EV player, okay, I'm going to be good at it, but 10 years from now, can I be the supplier of EV with the whole of Africa?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. We could be that. And that's what Airtel did. Airtel is
Yeah,
very
look at that.
successfully. That's what many companies in the two-wheelers have done in other countries, emerging countries. I think the entrepreneurs have to have the gumption and the lack of fear to take this bold step. I think it's, to me, I think if I were a third generation entrepreneur, why would I worry about anything else? My lifestyle is protected, my income is protected by my grandfather's work and my father's work. I think I should take risks.
Yeah. And not be
Constrained by
Yeah.
this, and
Yeah.
not be someone who is going to be a bean counter looking at
Yeah.
your portfolio of investment. That many people can do.
Yeah.
And sooner that can be done by AI.
Yeah.
So what would you do? You have to create something, scale it up.
Yeah.
So a 10x mindset in the 10 years for some of these people, even if it is industry. You see some of that in some new age, next gen people
Yeah.
there, but
Yeah.
not everyone has that.
Sure. One last section on this one, Santhanam, is, and this is, by the way, as I went deeper into it, found it really fascinating.
Thank you.
The history of Cinco in 350 years. Slightly more than that, 360 odd.
Now it's 360. This year is 360. Yeah.
This is the whole topic about finding purpose and finding meaning. And what I realize is after about more than 300 years that you started, or the organization took on that initiative of writing the purpose, and you were one of the two people who went around the world asking that what would we miss if Sakoba were to not do. Can you just sort of explain that?
So this was you know that the whole purpose, why do we exist is a
Yes.
question.
Yes.
It's not a vision, mission, values, which is something which we are all
Yes.
familiar.
Yeah.
But why do we exist?
Yeah.
And that's a central question. I think this was coming up, and I think many companies have been asking so that they can align people to this. So the challenge that Saint-Gobain had was, we didn't have something which is an organizing principle like this for 355 years. And there was the view that would we cheapen our whole organization by trying to invent or discover a purpose? That was a big question. And the second question was, is that just a fad? It's a management fad which the Americans have introduced it to the world. Do we need that to align our teams?
So that is the belief, Santhanam, that the organization would have carried
Correct.
for 355 years.
Yeah, 355 years.
What changed
So I think,
what tilted on the other side that we needed today?
I think one is Saint-Gobain is now not just in Europe, it's in many parts of the world. You need some organizing principle to tie it all together.
Understood.
Okay, you're in
Yeah.
multiple countries, multiple businesses. You
Yeah.
need something to tie it all together.
Yeah.
And so there was a sense that should we do it or should we not do it?
Yeah.
So they chose two people, one from India and one from Mexico,
Yeah.
to figure out whether should we do it.
Yeah.
And then, as chance favors those who are prepared, the guy from Mexico is fantastic. He still works for Saint-Gobain. Brilliant guy.
Yeah.
And we teamed together and we convinced skeptics, doubters and others. I think that's a bit of a preparation, but it was a 1-year work. And then we convinced that it's important for us to have a purpose statement which will align very different people. So that if someone in Vietnam or someone working in India or in, let's say, Bangladesh is asked, what is it that your company does? Okay? And you can tell that to your grandmother, you can tell that to your son. I think it kind of gives you a larger sense of your role. I think we were really fortunate that phrase that we got was making the world a better home.
Yeah.
Making, which is what we are,
Yeah.
world is very important, better, and home. So I think when we came up with that, I think then there was a aha moment. Yes, this resonates with who we are, what we want to be, what will the world be without us? And I think that's a question that companies have to ask. And you can ask it even if you're a very old company. Saint-Gobain was 354 years old when we asked this question. And then we came up that just before the COVID. Then we implemented. And today, that's a cornerstone. We do some new plant. We say that when we make this plant, will it be sustainable? We're talking about making the world a better home. Will it make our families who are living around better? Whether it's through jobs or whether it's through environment or whether it's through access to something in terms of CSR. So it's a kind of, it helps you. And then someone questions you somewhere, hey, you CEO, CXO, you're talking about all this grand purpose. I see you polluting. Are we making the world better?
Yeah.
And that questioning forces you to improve. That questioning. So I think that's a power of purpose. So I was also skeptical about this whole purpose. I said, what is it? Is it a mumbo jumbo from some consulting companies who are talking to drive, uniting the company? I think that's a power. It aligns people. It's like a touchstone for you to know whether what you're doing is right.
It's a,
And at every level, they're able to say, I'm working in the supply chain. I'm making it more sustainable. I'm reducing the carbon footprint. I'm making this new product. I think that's going to be made with lower energy intensity, with more circular raw materials, and will reduce the energy improve the energy efficiency of buildings. And that gives you a strong sense of purpose for what you do. And I think that's what the purpose story is all about. And I think the example of Saint-Gobain discovering or inventing its purpose, probably discovery, I think is a very powerful example. Even if you're a 354-year-old company, you can discover why you exist. And I think that's powerful. Whether you're a new company trying to disrupt, you can start from scratch, and this is the purpose that we want to be, to an 3-century-old company can discover it and deploy it at scale and making everyone understand it. When we did this employee engagement survey, we didn't get very good marks in everything, but one thing they got was that we understand the purpose of our company. 95% of the people say we understand the purpose of the company. Not everybody agreed that every action of ours is aligned to it. But they understand that. I mean, we don't get everything aligned. But that is the power of purpose.
Imagine the power. I think it almost looks like it serves as a great anchor for
everything. Alignment. It also makes sure that the senior leadership excess is curbed. Because your question, if you go and pollute and you talk about I'm going to make the world a better home, somebody is going to come and say, what the hell are you doing? You're polluting and you want to make the world a better home. And those kinds of conversations actually are very critical.
I didn't see it that way. Now that you say, it becomes a great framework or a tool by which you can stay disciplined, especially at the top, where you can actually fly off the handle.
This is not who we are. This is not what we do. And I can tell you that when I work with Titan, there is extreme transparency and extreme employee and customer focus. So you try to do some new idea which will touch the extreme employee focus, extreme customer focus, or extreme society focus. The Titanians will come and say, no, I don't think we should do that. And I think that's a extremely powerful aligner as well as getting your ideas clear.
Actually, I didn't see this lens at all, Santhanam. Now that you say, it gives a much broader constituency a anchor by which not only will they align, but they can question any.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
No, no,
beautiful,
that's why, and we have to do that.
Yeah.
We have to do that very carefully. It has to be a huge engagement process with several people. What is the difference we want to make to our industry, to the world, or to whatever part that you want to make a difference, and whether people agree with that. I think that's an exercise, and that cannot be done by the top management sitting in. Here is our purpose from tomorrow onwards. Every day in the morning, like slokas, you'll recite our
Yeah,
purpose
yeah.
and you'll say the prayers, and everybody is going to know. That's not going to work. I think, why do we exist, and
Yeah.
what do we do to further
Yeah,
that? So
there is
those are the
that
kind of.
Pat Lencioni framework, right, of the 5 dysfunctions of a team, and there are these 6 critical questions. There is that question of why do we exist and
Correct,
how
yeah.
do we behave.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you know that very well. You're from the
The-
human resources, which is at the heart of everything that we want to do.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that you know that well. But I think it's
Yeah.
that, and I think that's really important. Purpose is something which unites you, and also helps you to keep away from
Yeah,
some of the challenges that you may introduce to the company.
yeah. Some of the indiscipline, that's beautiful.
That creeps it.
Yeah, it creeps in. Yeah,
The senior leadership,
yeah, yeah.
you know,
Excesses that.
all of that can be,
Yeah.
and I think
Yeah.
it's at best a tool which unites, which aligns, which also keeps you in check.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. No, this has been fascinating. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Santhanam.
and,
I must say that of all the episodes that we have done, there is the other day I heard of this concept of signal to noise ratio, that in anything that you do, what you want to do is just improve the signal to noise ratio. This, I think, clearly is an outlier in terms of the amount of, like, almost next to nothing in terms of noise. It's all like your learned experiences that we are able to take to a broader audience. So deeply, deeply thankful. Just before I let you go, there's one last question. That, let's say, if much younger BSM just passing out of IIT Madras and IIM Ahmedabad, equivalent of who you were as Santhanam back in the 1980s, as he or she looks at India and the world, what do you sort of communicate, and what do you tell them, him or her?
I think do not pick a career thinking that that's a be all or end all. And I think there are several industries which are fantastically possible in the country, and we have rapid growth possibilities. We have both the demographic dividend as well as the tools which make the demographic dividend possible.
Yeah.
The AI tools, the digital transformation, the digital stack that the country has. I would say pick any industry where you have the degree of freedom and empowerment and the company, and join that. And then recognize that AI is going to be a life-changing and transformative, so socially transforming. It's not just a tool, it's something beyond that. And recognize that quite a lot of what we take for granted as cognitive thinking, AI is going to take an important role in that. Make sure that AI is your partner, a cognitive partner, a sparring partner in any of the journeys. And if you join an industry where AI is not central, if you join or where the growth is not very significant, or you join, let's say, an organization where the entry level work is going to be disrupted by AI, I would say that
Think again,
but make AI your cognitive partner in whatever you do.
Amazing.
Don't give control to AI, but make sure that the AI is your cognitive partner. And be in an industry or companies or firms where that is seen as very important, and they do more than just speak about it in public. They do act on AI. And I would say that, and there are several incredible opportunities. And I think when I retired, the only regret that I have is I was not born 40 years later. I wish I were a 28-year-old
Gen Alpha.
entering the world. Okay. Regrettably, I'm not. I'm 69 years old, and here is what it is.
Yeah, but what a journey you have had. Such an
Oh,
illustrious
it is fun.
journey.
And
yeah.
I think I owe a lot to the Sangaban group. I owe a lot to my colleagues who actually fashioned a lot of my thoughts.
Yeah.
And also a lot of mentors who allowed me, empowered me, allowed me degrees of freedom which you normally don't get,
Yeah.
and empowered me, trusted me, and tremendous amount of collaboration. So I think trust, empowerment, and collaboration, which is really the cornerstone of Sangoban's group, I don't think without that you would be interviewing me.
Yeah, no, this
Yeah.
is so
Yeah.
deep. Of all that you have communicated, fascinating. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Santhanam.
It was
Thank
wonderful.
you for welcoming us to your wonderful home. It's beautiful. Want to spend more time, but really, really enjoyed the conversation. Couldn't be more grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank
It's
you.
been,
Thank you. It's
amazing.
wonderful.
Yeah.
So I do hope that that your organization thrives,
Yeah.
and not just thrives as a startup in this very important area of people function, but more importantly, you're making a huge difference to the
Country.
country. I
Yeah.
think that's both are very
Yeah,
important.
you have bumped up our hunger and ambition. That is one thing I'm sure going to take back.
Thank you.
Would be associated
Wonderful.
with you, but thank you
Wonderful,
so
sir.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.